Hey stamping friends, this is Terry Gaines. In this video I'm going to give assembly tips on the sideways easel card, which is my fun fold card packet for placing a qualifying order November of 2021. All the details are on my blog for how to receive this packet free. I will also email you a PDF with the instructions, a video link to this video, photos, and the supply list for this project. I have a different fun fold every month, and this month it is a sideways easel card. In the packet, you're going to receive all the supplies for a miniature card that goes on the postcard, along with all the supplies cut and prepared to make a standard size card. You will need your own adhesive. We need a double-sided adhesive. I'm going to use the Stampin' Seal, dimensionals, mini glue dots, and a strong adhesive, and I'm going to use tear and tape. So let's start with our project. The card base for this is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4 and at 6 3/8. You're going to fold it in half, and then you're going to fold that score line into a mountain fold and crease that with your bone folder. The next step is that we're going to adhere some designer series paper to these two front panels. The designer series paper is already cut to size for you. This designer series paper in your packet is the Ever Eden specialty paper. It is part of a promotion November 2nd through January 3rd, offering some of the Eden Gardens product, which will be in the mini catalog. I should say the stamp set and the dies will be in the mini catalog. The designer series paper is a specialty paper that's a promotional product, only available from November 2nd to January 3rd, or while supplies last. So in your packet you are going to have one of these 5 different prints, and they're absolutely beautiful. I chose not to use the 6th one, but all 5 of these would be perfect for this card design. So you're going to have one of those, and they're already cut to size for you. The size they need to be cut is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. We need to adhere these with our regular adhesive, and if I'm going too fast, please just hit the pause button so you can do the step that I'm showing, and then we can just keep working on our project. Just to note, my videos are unedited and they do contain bloopers. So if I was in person showing you this project, they would also contain bloopers. So what I just did was I adhered one of those pieces to the left front panel and the other one to the right front panel. Then we need a large element for this card, and I have pre-cut in your packet a label that is part of the tasteful, cut with the Tasteful Labels dies, and I use this die right here. And we also have this die for the sentiment, and I've used this one. This die set has 6 dies in it. 5 of the dies, when you cut them out, the window that gets cut out also has a stitched element around it, stitch design. So they're very versatile. You're going to love those dies. So both of these are cut from that. So this is going to be our large element. We also need 2 circles that are smaller than our large element. So I use the layering circles to cut 2 smaller circles. So whatever element you have, your 2 circles need to be smaller than that. So the next thing we're going to do is fold these in half. So you want to fold those in half, take a bone folder and crease those. We're going to need our strong adhesive next. So I'm going to take the tear and tape, and the beauty of this is you can tear it. So I'm going to place it down on one half that I folded, the outside halves on both sides. So I basically have that side and that side, and you want to do that to both pieces. So I'm going to keep moving along. Like I mentioned earlier, you can pause and then hit play again when you've got both of those done. Now what we're going to do for this card is I'm going to have this element in this direction, and I'm going to center it equal spacing top, equal spacing bottom, depending on your element. And when I'm done assembling both of these, I have 3 additional cards to show you where I've put them in different locations. So for this one, it's going to be centered. So we're going to just move this out of the picture or out of the way, and then we're going to take backing off of one side of our half circle. The folded edge is going to line up to the score line, and we're going to place this right in the center, meaning equal here and equal here. And I'm just going to eyeball that placement. I'm going to take the other circle, take the backing off, and place this on this side. And I'm leaving a little bit of a gap, which is okay. I want to make sure that they just stay on each side. I don't want to overlap one onto the center line there. So now that we have this, both of those placed, you're going to take your backing off, or if you use like the Seal Plus, you would just add your adhesive. So we've got that placed. Now I'm going to take this element and I'm going to center this and just place it right down on here. So that's how we adhere that element. I do want to decorate this element, and I'm going to decorate it with this large gold butterfly. I cut that out for you using the Brilliant Wings dies. These are in the annual catalog. They're bundled with the stamp set, so you can have that 10% savings. And I cut out this butterfly out of the gold foil paper. And we're going to use mini glue dots to attach this. I usually bring the element to the mini glue dot, and I find that the Take Your Pick tool sometimes helps just to separate those, or sometimes I pick up the dot or the mini glue dot with the Take Your Pick tool, but most of the time I try to bring the element to the mini glue dot and pick it up. And just also note, you might have to clean out some of these little cutouts. Maybe I didn't get them all cleaned out for you. Now when we put this butterfly down, we need to make sure that we have no exposed adhesive. You could also put some dimensionals back there, mini ones, or cut some standard ones. So my mini glue dots are on the body of the butterfly, so I'm okay. Just make sure I don't go beyond the side, the edge of the card, so it fits in an envelope. And I'm going to place it up a little bit because I want to put the sentiment down here. Also in your packet, you have some of these garden gems. They are also part of that special going on right now, and they are just like the designer series paper, available till January 3rd or while supplies last. They will not be in the next catalog. Now I find it hard to pick these up with my putty from my Take Your Pick tool, so I take my paper snips, kind of use it like a pliers a little bit, kind of a tool, and then depending on how it picks it up, there we go. We just got one little element for right here. All right, so I'm going to just put one of those gems here. We're going to save the other gem for another location. This tag, you want to stamp your sentiment. I already have my happy birthday stamped here, and this is going to go on part of the label. I'm going to have it hang over the side here. That means I don't want my dimensionals to go beyond. You want no exposed adhesive right here. So what I'm going to do is place this down like this and just fold it down like here, and I'm going to grab a mini glue dot. Your standard or mini dimensional, I'm sorry. I'm going to place one right here, and then I'm going to place one right here. The standard dimensionals might work. So my videos contain bloopers, so I probably call these mini glue dots. They're mini dimensionals and your regular dimensionals. I put one right here, one right here. If I put that one right here instead of on the tag, then I know for sure it's not going to hang over the edge. So now I just need to make sure that I cover it up, and now I have my tag with no adhesive on the back. So that's exactly what we wanted here. Also in your packet, you have some basic white that is cut to be 2 1/8 by 5 1/4, and this is going to get adhesive on it. And also this is where you're going to stamp your inside sentiment. So if you're going to stamp your inside sentiment, I would suggest to stamp it before you assemble it or adhere it, because if you don't like your results on the side, you can always stamp the other side. That's the beauty of the paper. You can stamp both sides. Now this paper is going to be adhered to the inside of the card towards the center of fold, equal spacing top, equal spacing this side, and equal spacing bottom. We have an element in here. This is our stopper. This stopper is going to be attached with a dimensional, and I'm going to suggest a standard dimensional, rotate it so it adheres right behind here, and this stopper is going to go from between the edge of this basic white cardstock and the edge of this card, and it's going to go halfway in the middle there. I'm going to take the backing off, and I'm going to just rotate it a little bit. And this is the stopper for our easel card. So I highly suggest whatever stopper you use for making another card, you place it with a dimensional. And then your second gem is going to be for this butterfly. So we're going to attach that right like so. Now the stopper is for the easel. So here's the front of our card, and when we fold this up, we have a sideways easel card. It will stand on the mantle or your desk, and this little butterfly is the stopper. Isn't that beautiful? Well, as I mentioned, I have a couple more cards to share with you, but first I want us to assemble our little miniature card. So all these supplies are cut and scored for you. So in here we have a small cardstock that is early espresso. You want to fold that in half. You want to crease that center crease as a mountain fold. The In Good Taste wood grain paper, and everybody might have a different wood grain paper. The beauty of this packet of Designer Series paper, you get a few different wood grains, and any of them will work wonderful for this card. So these are cut to size for you. So we're going to place these down first, and as I mentioned, feel free to pause the video if to get caught up to where I am in my assembly of this. So we've got the two Designer Series papers on here. This is going to be the element. It is actually the Everyday Label Punch, and we have two small circles that are smaller than that element. We need to fold these in half, and both of those will get some strong adhesive on. I suggest tear and tape, and we'll put a little bit on each side. This miniature card is to have a visual. So when you want to make this sideways easel card and you have the instructions on that postcard, you will have a little visual that will show you what the project will look like. And so now what we need to do, we're going to repeat what we did before on the standard card. So this fold is going to go to the fold, right to that fold. Take the backing off the other circle that's folded in half. I hope I didn't go off video for this. I apologize if I did. If I happen to, I'll start over. If not, I'm going to continue. My videos are unedited, like I said. So I just hope I continued to stay on the video. So now that we have the backing off of those two circles, we're going to place this down right in the center. Place that down. The tree is going to be the decorative image for that, and you can pop that up with a couple dimensionals, and I'll take the backing off. The Take Your Pick tool works great for getting those backings off. And then this is going to be attached right like so. And on the inside we have a small strip of Very Vanilla. Again, this will go right to the center fold. Look for equal spacing on that side, top and bottom. Place that down. Our stopper for this is going to be a small dragonfly. This is from the Dragonfly's Punch, and a mini dimensional will fit right in there. And for this, I'm going to actually turn it a little bit sideways, and for this one you're going to want to curve those wings up a little bit, and this will be the stopper for your sample. So this is our little miniature sample. So what I would suggest you to do is put adhesive on the back of this, place this on your instruction card, and you have a visual for what your sideways easel card is. And as I mentioned, each month I have a different fun fold. So if you place an order that qualifies, you will receive a different fun fold every month. So let me share a couple of, well, these are a couple of the other papers that will, you could have 5 different designer series papers in your packet, and that's what a couple of those look like. Here is one that I use, the Art Gallery stamp set and the Floral Galleries dies. And this one has a different size kind of element. I also used a butterfly. So this just pops up a rectangle. It can be any size for your large element. So that was that one. I'll just put that up like so. And with the video, it's hard to give you a good view of that. Here's one that I used, instead of designer series paper, also here I used a folder. Here I used a folder. This is the wintry folder, which is a combo. You get the bows along with snowflakes. You get both of those together. And then I used some of the items in the mini catalog. And this one, what I did was I put the stopper as the greeting using the double oval punch and put the greeting down here. So that's another option you have for this. And then the last sample I have for you is using the poinsettia dies with the red velvet paper. This is the gold metallic specialty paper that is in the annual catalog. You receive 4 sheets of gold and 4 of the rose gold. And I used that on the leaves here, the wintry folder. And then I added some to the inside. So this I did the reverse. You would stamp and sign right here, and I added a decorative element. So you could change this up in many different ways. I hope you enjoyed this fun fold. Thank you so much for placing an order. I would love to have you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the red box under the video, then the bell, so you'll be notified when I upload new videos. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed this project. Take care and happy creating.